What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. I wanted to bring you a video discussing Klay Thompson free agency, giving you some of my favorite landing spots for him. But mainly, I'm going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and why I believe, as of right now, recording this video April 19th, I think they are the eyes-on favorite in my eyes to land him. So let's get into it, guys. So 34-year-old, soon-to-be free agent Klay Thompson is kind of in a weird spot. The Warriors, his team's kind of in a weird spot for some people. For me, not so much. I've been saying for the last couple years, trade these young guys off. If not, trade either him and or Draymond off. And that being Klay Thompson. You got to surround Steph Curry with realistic, great options. And, I was once saying if you're gonna keep everybody, I was on the James Wiseman trade bandwagon. That did happen, but I was always on the front of saying, hey, get a big man, get Dwight Howard, get one of the Plumlee brothers, get someone, get what's the kid that went from the Spurs to the Raptors, Jakob Podol. Get one of those guys or someone in that vein of center to help Looney, to help Green be a force on the inside. But whatever, didn't happen. But right now, as we've seen in their last play-in game, the season now over, Klay had a horrible game. Steph is getting up there, hasn't really played consistent all year. Had a great first half, second half down the stretch, maybe a little banged up, but he wasn't good down the stretch of this season. Obviously, Draymond, he got suspended midway through the season. So they're in a rough spot. I'm very curious to see what they do now. But everybody and everything is pointing to Klay coming back to the Warriors. I say not so fast. It sounds good, it looks good, but I think it's all talk as of right now. When it's time to come down to that table and talk negotiations and talk contracts, I don't know if Klay ends up going back to the Warriors. I don't think it makes sense. And, but I do think the Warriors have done a poor job in replacing him, as far as someone in the draft or via trade, someone who will slide into that spot in a seamlessly, switch. And they don't have that. Moody is cool. The kid they got this past draft, he's cool. But they're nowhere near Klay as far as even play style. To part with Klay and have someone that can kind of fill that role. So, but they'll have to figure it out. They don't bring Klay back. But I want to talk about Klay's options if he doesn't resign with the Warriors, which is a real possibility. I think right now I will lean towards 70% in my head that he doesn't return. And there are some good options out there. Some are, I think, dream fits because of money. Because I know reportedly Klay still wants close to a max, and some teams can give him that are contenders, but I don't see a realistic fit. And that first team being the Thunder. I don't see where he fits in the Thunder at all. I know they have money. They have teams always need more shooting. There's no question about that. But I think the Thunder are good as is. Add a couple of bench pieces if they don't win it all this year. Obviously, playoffs haven't started quite yet. Starts Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. But they don't need Klay, and Klay doesn't bring the defense as he used to. He's not a two-way guy anymore. He's inconsistent on offense. He's inconsistent on defense. He's pushing 35. It's like I wouldn't trust Klay to be on this young team here. And like I said, the Thunder could still win it all. The playoffs haven't even started yet, so we'll see where the Thunder actually land at when the season is over. But no matter how it lands or ends for the Thunder, I don't see them needing Klay Thompson. It just doesn't make sense to me. Dallas Mavericks are a very, very intriguing option to me. They don't have the cap space though, and that's the worst part about it. They are a great fit. I think if they had more money, and they can make more money and make things happen, but they have to do a lot of salary cap gymnastics to make it work to get Klay Thompson, depending on what he wants. But adding him to Luka and Kyrie would be awesome. But I just don't see it happening unless Klay takes a super pay cut, which I don't know if he's willing to do, because you got to be realistic. I'm going to name some teams coming up soon. They're young, and not the Thunder, but the Thunder are number one seed. They're I think, and I said during the last offseason, right after last season, the Thunder are real threats. I was saying at the trade deadline, add OG, add a nice Herb Jones, something like that, someone to help push the Thunder over to the next level. They didn't do that, but they already still know one of the top teams. So they're young, but I think they're ready to win right now. And as I say, I don't think Klay's the missing piece. If they don't win it this year, I don't think Klay's the missing piece for them. But there are some young teams coming up I'm going to list off soon. And, they're very, very young. They're doing good. They're looking good. But Klay makes sense for them if he was a couple years younger. But 34-year-old Klay, I wouldn't really mess with. And that's the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, number 5 seed. You got 2 emerging stars in Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. I love them guys a whole lot. You got Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac for the defense. Adding Klay would be cool, but like I said, he's so inconsistent. That's the thing. Bring him in. They have offensive struggles still. They need more shooting. Suggs and Isaac are hit and miss as far as shooting goes. Paulo's a young rising star. Franz Wagner is very, very good. Overall team is pretty solid. But Klay on that super young team, I think it doesn't make sense. Klay wants to be in the mix right away, right now, if he does leave Golden State, if I were to guess. And Orlando is still too far away in my eyes. Klay will not be the missing piece for that team. The Sacramento Kings are kind of in the same boat as the Magic. Good young team. They're about to enter not so young anymore territory. But Malik Monk is a free agent, upcoming free agent this offseason. I don't know if they have the money to bring him back. And also, if you can't pay Monk, you probably can't and probably won't play Klay either, because you have Kevin Huerter there as well, who is, back in the day was the Klay Thompson clone on the Hawks, while Trae Young was the Steph Curry clone. The Hawks try to replicate what the Warriors did back in the day. Didn't work out, but Huerter is solid. Never really piled up to the Klay comparisons. He had moments though, but I don't think there's no need to put him and Klay on the same team. And even still, Klay isn't a good replacement for Malik Monk anyway, so that makes no sense. And plus, as I said, they're not going to pay Monk. They're definitely not going to pay Klay, so I say no there. The Mike Brown thing, the Mike Brown connection, former Warriors assistant coach, I understand that, but, I don't see that fit being a good fit either. Then you go down to a team like the Lakers. LeBron always needs shooting. Pairing him with AD, Brian, Reeves, all those guys, D'Angelo Russell, if he returns next season, I wouldn't mind it. Klay would be, a dangerous threat. But you already have a player in LeBron where it seems like when shooters come to him, they can't shoot. Klay already an inconsistent shooter, so you want to give Brian a historically great shooter, but Klay hasn't shot well consistently in the last 3 or 4 years. So, the idea of Klay with Bron years ago made sense. Right now, Klay Thompson, heck no. So, as I said earlier, the defense is going too. When you're playing with Bron right now, you need perimeter defense. Having Klay right now might be a negative on defense more than a positive. I know he can stay in front of some guys sometimes, but most of the time it's not quite what it was. The injuries, the age caught up to him. It happens. Nothing wrong with that. But, as far as fit goes, I don't see the Lakers being a true nice fit for Klay Thompson. So that leaves one team left in my eyes, unless another team randomly pops up. That is the Philadelphia 76ers. And they have the space, they have the need for shooting, and they have those 2 stars that need help as well. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. Rumor is they're gonna go for Paul George. We're not quite sure yet if Paul George will re-sign with the Clippers and rejoin Kawhi Leonard. We're not quite sure yet. We'll see. But if Paul George doesn't go to Philly, I'm really, really loving Klay going to Philly, joining Maxey, joining Joel Embiid. Both of those guys, I should say, are forces in the inside. Maxey's speed, he can cut in the inside and get a bucket from the foul line in, mid-range in. He's very good at using his speed, using his athleticism to do those things and get inside the paint and draw defenders away from the three-point line. And Joel Embiid, obviously former MVP, dominant, can beat you inside, outside. But when he gets on that elbow, when he gets on that block, you have to double him. And once you do, you have Klay Thompson wide open. And as I said, it's hard for me to trust Klay for me personally, but I'm sure coaches and teams and players will be in awe of Klay because he's still, as I said, historically one of the best shooters of all time. You can't deny that. You can't take it away. Maybe coaches think a new scheme, new team, new players around might reinvigorate Klay. And as I said, the Sixers have the money. They will have the money. They will have the need. They will have everything you need to add Klay Thompson to it. The stars, the winning power, everything right now. They just have to add on that shooting, and Klay Thompson would be, I believe, a good missing piece, to that Philadelphia 76ers roster. Especially, obviously they're gonna keep Joel, keep Maxey, and maybe add a couple more guys to that. And adding Klay, I think could definitely do some good things for that Sixers roster if Embiid can stay healthy for most of the season. If Maxey can stay healthy, continue to progress, and be a young starter he's growing into, I think the Sixers are clear cutting away, in my opinion. Outside of the Warriors, a return to the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, the Sixers are clear cutting away the best option for Klay Thompson in this upcoming free agency period. So we'll see what happens. A random team could pop up, but right now, early stages, I'm really loving the Sixers and Klay Thompson. That connection to me makes sense. And, even if they add Paul George, they might can still sneak in Klay Thompson too. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. But that's it for the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.